From April in Brooklyn to October in Las Vegas, what a 6-month stretch there involving the authorities and the bus and the dolly. I mean, unbelievable. It culminates with UFC 229. Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, they dominated the headlines all year long, and in particular, that 6-month stretch, again, starting in April in Brooklyn, then culminating in October at T-Mobile Arena. Rivalry of the year, story of the year, event of the year, all of those. I mean, those guys just, I mean, they were on our minds a lot. And at times it got a little heavy. At times it got a little deep. At times it got a little uncomfortable. But they deserve it. Speaking of deep and uncomfortable and heavy and all those things, let me say hello to my partner, my co-host for Ariel the Bad Guy, which you can see every Wednesday on ESPN+. Chael P, look at us. How are you?
Ariel, I am so happy for you. You look fantastic. I love the glasses. But might I just tell you, if you were to add another award to the show for Acceptance Speech of the Year, without question, it goes to Aljo. Am I right?
That was great.
I mean, he was excited to win.
He was. I appreciate that. And there are more to come, so I can't give that award out just yet. There are more to come. But Chael, I have to say, so story of the year, right? To me, up until I don't know, December 22nd, it was a no-brainer. It was like the first one that I wrote down. Story of the year, of course, Conor Khabib. And then Jon Jones happened, and then UFC 232 happened, and then the location change happened. And in the end, I was like, I can't believe this, but this story is actually making, 229 seem a little bit smaller. In the end, though, I went with the original because I didn't want to have a recency bias. Did I make the right call, or do you disagree? Was Jon Jones and all that, all that stuff, did that actually trump what happened between Conor and Khabib?
No, absolutely not, unless I misunderstood. Now, if you're looking for headlines, it still goes to Conor Khabib, though we did have a lot of fun with the drama this past week. However, I thought it was rivalry of the year, and without question, even with Jones's mess, unless you're talking about the rivalry between Jon Jones and USADA, it definitely goes to Khabib and Conor.
Okay, so you agree with me on that. Let's start in April when all this went down. Initially, you remember the run-in? Artem Lobov and Khabib in the hotel, and then Conor flies. We actually disagree. You remember we argued on ESPN2, I believe, back at the initial press conference. You didn't buy the fact that he was coming there to support his friend, to defend his honor. Now that it's over and you've heard Conor tell his side of the story, do you actually agree with me that he actually flew over there to help his friend? That's it? Innocent?
No, I don't. I thought the way that you were presenting it in our previous argument was that this was a sign of honor, that this was a sign of loyalty to his friend. I'm going, wait a second. Nothing happened to Artem. Artem was in a hallway. He and Khabib spoke. Apparently, it was Khabib speaking so close and actually putting his hand on him, but quite literally, to reach up and touch him with the palm of his hand that got some kind of street cred for Conor than this. No, I thought it was disgusting. I thought it was a crime. He ended up in handcuffs, and I thought it shouldn't be presented any other way than that.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of being in handcuffs, I remember those 2 days in Brooklyn when he was in the courtroom and, just being, escorted by the cops. I mean, that was surreal stuff. At the same time, 223 was kind of in shambles, and they were looking for a new main event against Khabib. When you saw how it all played out, and you saw how the fans reacted to Conor in the aftermath, is it possible that he actually became more popular as a result of the criminal activity that he was a part of?
Oh, of course, Ariel. Notorious always trumps, infamous always trumps famous. And yes, he did. Some of it for the right reasons and some of it for the wrong, but it did make you. Look, I almost hate to say this because it acts as though we're justifying this action in some way, but the reality, if you go look at the numbers, it helped to make for a very special and meaningful fight. And, it's hard to get both of those guys to the table. It really is. It's hard to get guys in there with Conor McGregor. A lot of guys say they want to do it because it's a big payday. Sometimes it's hard to get Conor in there because he needs to make sure he's got a dance partner that can meet him halfway in the media. So, this is what really forced those guys in there together. And the ones that profited from it, aside from what was all of us. Ariel, that was the match we wanted to see with or without the dolly incident. It just added that extra level of storyline that guys like you and I, frankly, love.
In hindsight, do you think Conor made a mistake to take this fight? Storyline aside, obviously it was one that had to happen because of the storyline and the feud. But let's not forget he was coming off a 2-year layoff. In hindsight, should he have taken a fight that was a little more, style friendly?
No, I don't think so. I never think that that's a good play, particularly when you're a champion and you're the highest paid guy and you're the draw and you're in the industry. Look, if you're going to be the leader, go out there and be the leader. If you're going to take that money, you got to take that beating. I don't think that you should be able to have it both ways. I think whenever you and I see guys steering away from the rightful competition, and who decides what the rightful competition is, Ariel? The fans. When you're in a division and you don't want to give the fans the fight that they want, I think that it is very cowardly. And when it happens, you and I seem to hate it. When a guy goes in there and he stubs his knee, skins his knee up a little bit because, he did have a layoff and was a little bit rusty. If you choose to hang your argument on that hat, listen, I just don't think that that's fair that we can have it both ways. I think the top guys need to fight the top people, and we should be happy and celebrate when they do, regardless of the outcome.